Welcome back to the I Jupiter podcast. I'm your host, Tom Franklin, and today we have on the indelible, the incredible, the wonderful Daniel Ian Cohoon from the Magical Journey podcast. First of all, happy 4th of July. For those who haven't been outside of the U.S. and haven't seen or lived in other countries like I have, remember, you don't understand how good you have it. No matter how bad you think you have it, you don't know how good you have it. You have to come to a place where I live here in southern Mexico and see how bad it is for people to realize how good it is that you have it. So be mindful of that today because it's a pretty awesome place. I'm telling you. Okay. All right, cool. So if you keep finding yourself coming back to the show, please do me a favor. Hopefully I earn your subscription today. You can also please, on your way out, if you're listening today, add your comments to it. Send this to somebody who thinks would enjoy the channel. If you like t-shirts, I have t-shirts. Boom, all those links down in the description below. Also, all my guest links will be down in the description below too. If you'd like to go over there, and please do me a favor, like and subscribe to his channel as well. He is on his way to 500. He is currently at 454, and we're going to try to get him there, get him over the hump to follow his dream. So that's what we're doing today. You can also do me a favor, and if you're on Spotify or anything like that, go over and leave me a rating because I need those. Any kind of rating, anything to bump me up so that people get to hear more of the content that you guys enjoy. You can also become a member on YouTube and get some things early. So, all that out of the way, let's welcome back to the show, by popular demand, at least on my behalf, Daniel Ian Cohoon.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, man. All right, let's get into the comments over here. That way I can see everyone. Hello, Ray. Hello, Denise. Hello, Pam.
Hey, guys. And you know what? Before we get too far, I want to say thank you, too, for having me on today.
I'll get there. Dude, it's a pleasure to have you on. It's a pleasure having you on. If you guys haven't subscribed to his channel, I need you to do me a favor. When you get your earliest convenience, or if you have your phone on the side, if you're watching this on your TV, your tablet, you can just go over to the Magical Journey, spelled with CK still, right, Daniel?
No, we've changed over to the correct spelling of magical now.
Oh, but it's still down there in your profile there at the bottom of your screen. That's confusing.
Yeah, I probably need to change that.
Yeah, the other day, remember when I had Sarah on with me? It still said Tom and Sarah for one of my live episodes or one of my recorded episodes. So, it happens.
I've got a long way to go with getting everything changed over. Because there's a lot out there.
Hi, Tim.
Tim,
it is what it is. I've seen. So, for people who do not know by now, because they know that you and I are good friends and cohorts. That's a good word. We use cohorts today. How many times do you hear that a day? Not enough. You know that you, me, and Jim Powell from the Night's Watch, you guys have both kind of changed the names of your channels to make it a little more visible and thing, which is a great thing. And if people who don't know anything about you or don't know what it is that you do, tell us a little bit about yourself, where we can find you, and promote your show, please.
Okay, so I am Daniel Ian Cohoon, the host of Magical Journey podcast. I do want to put it out there that the new website, magicaljourneypodcast.com, is officially up and running.
All right.
There's all kinds of good stuff going on there. You can find the latest audio and video on my blog and on the podcast pages. There's a lot of great ways of being able to get connected with me, including Ko-Fi and all the stuff. And for those of you who get really brave and jump on that top tier on Ko-Fi, which is about $7, you'll land on my Discord there too, which is going to be where I have all kinds of exclusive stuff going on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
we're going to have to talk about that in the background. I didn't know anything. I don't know jack about Discord. You're going to have to, if you're over there wading in the water, you can invite me in the pool. I'll bring my water wings, and you can show me the ropes. I have no idea what that is.
It's I gotta tell you, like, the amount of stuff I'm learning and relearning uh, just to try to get this boat floating is amazing. Um, uh, Discord is one thing. Uh, I will say that for those of you who are interested in the Discord, it is only linked through that tier. So, because there's going to be stuff that I do and post on Discord that is
Okay.
exclusive to the Discord itself. So, um, upcoming research, I'm going to lock myself away from time to time to do some deep diving. Right now, I've got um, I've got one topic in general that it keeps resurfacing and crossing
Okay.
my desk. Indrid Cold. If you're familiar with that name, uh,
That's a great. Thanks, Ray, for that remark. That was awesome. Happy 4th of July, everybody. That was really funny. Thank you. Yes.
you know, couldn't we all use that? Unfortunately, as of lately, it's going to be harder to retire. But
Thank you so very much. Austin Lawrence from the Dead Chronicles. Go give him some love.
Austin,
Austin's in the house. The Dead Chronicles. Go over on YouTube. Check it out. The dude does incredible work, incredible filmmaker. He's been on the channel many, many times. And thank you so much for your support. A little reminder, guys, super chats are open. If you guys want to, do what Austin just did, $5, go buy me a cup of coffee. That'd be awesome. Thank you so much, Austin, for that. And much success, brother. Keep pounding away. I know Daniel and I have both had you. You've been on both of our channels, and you're awesome, dude. Thank you for everything that you do, man. Appreciate it.
look, Austin is my voice of reason. He is the person who is helping me in so many ways at times lately with sound advice, like new microphones, all kinds of good stuff that needs to happen to up the game.
Right.
He's also definitely a strong foundation to my circle of people. So Austin, I appreciate you a ton, dude.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing. Him, Sin, Eric, that whole group, those three people, Eric Sims in the Night House, and Sin Schrader Hill and Elk Valley Paranormal Research, or something like that. I think it's called. Those it's like the triad of awesomeness right there. If you guys connect to Austin, and you'll connect to the other two, and just go check out their stuff. They're incredible. Yes, Denise, thank you so much, Austin. Okay, dude, let's talk about this show. Now, I know that you've told me, so you started the show because you've seen my show, and you said, I got something to offer to the world. And that I'd have to agree with wholeheartedly. What I enjoy about your show, you're different than me. I'm more of a radio personality kind of guy. Whatever. I got whatever. I have smoke and mirrors and whatever I'm doing. You go about it so much differently. It's all heart and love. That's exactly what if you anyone who knows what Daniel is, it's all heart, all love. And he loves this mysterious. So it's like love and mysterious together. That's what I would say his channel is. This is my opinion. You can correct me at any time, buddy. He really delves deep into things. He does not play around. If he has a person on and they have authored a book, he will go buy that book and read the damn book before they come on the show. Unlike myself, where I go in basically blindfolded and try to meet him on a personality thing. But Daniel's stuff is it's so much cooler. Dude, tell me a little bit about we're trying to get you over that 500 mark, that basic beginner's mark. We're gonna get you in the hours. If you guys watch the show, if you're cleaning around the house, throw it on the background. You get to hear his beautiful voice and all his amazing guests on. Just listen to it while it's going on, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. It'll be good for you and the family. I wouldn't suggest it for all young kids because some of the stuff can get gruesome. Definitely check it out beforehand. But tell me a little bit about the So you started the show by watching my show, and you were like, "Yeah, I got this." So tell me about the genesis of your show. what your show is about and how you go about, finding your guests to come on, and how you go about your research before they do come on.
So let's start from how where it really all began was my own personal experiences, just like so many of us,
Right.
uh, have had some kind of encounter. Um, by the time I was 9 years old, I was doing research. And I mean, like, I learned to research before I started doing research, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
and so with that, uh, I began deep diving early on into, uh, the things that we knew back then, because this was a ways ago. Um, the Mantel crash, all of the Hopkinsville night siege, some of the great classic uh, events in ufology. There was a point where Amityville was a big deal, of course. And I gotta tell you guys,
Yeah, go. Okay, tell us about that. That's coming up soon. You're having someone in connection with Amityville, right?
I am
Coming up.
having the Warrens' grandson on.
Wow,
He
that's awesome.
he was trained by his
Wow.
grandmother and his grandfather to do research, and he he's the living uh, founder of the Warren Legacy Foundation. So there's a lot going on with that. Actually, he has a lecture coming up Sunday on the um, the Conjuring cases
Okay.
and the real story behind them. So
Okay.
that
Let's make sure that people who like, say for example, they stumble upon this channel by accident. Who is this person? Who are the Warrens? And where is the maybe you can connect what they've seen on movies and the connection between the two. That way, they understand how big of a thing this is for your channel, as well as understanding what his grandmother and grandfather did.
okay. First of all, let's talk about the Warrens really quickly.
Sure.
So we have hold on a second. Well,
all
I'll
these
just say
notes, all these notes.
no. These are actually like I just got a message that I was trying to figure out. Okay, so Ed and Lorraine Warren, uh, they literally started out um, unknown. I mean, they were doing. Ed was, as a lot of people say, a self-proclaimed demonologist. Lorraine was a gifted psychic. They got married. Um, Actually, their meeting was quite interesting, and their whole love story is quite interesting. But beside that point, when these two got together, it was like a firestorm. The two of them connected. They reached out. They started doing their thing, and eventually, they got some cases that landed them on national television. Uh, it got them notoriety to the point where they were considered and are still considered uh, kind of the grandparents, if you will, of paranormal research. Uh, Lorraine, they were both devoutly Catholic. Lorraine was extremely compassionate, very much the person that, for me personally, uh, as a young person watching them on television, uh, it was kind of a light for me to see somebody who was so positive and so uplifting and so caring uh, be a spokesperson for those who are gifted and were gifted at that point.
Okay. Okay, let's okay. We won't. Yeah, but anyway, so guys, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off, buddy. But so basically, if you've seen The Conjuring, there's I think 3 movies now, and there's a new one coming
Mhm.
out soon. Correct?
Right.
Right.
The
And,
last of the Conjuring series is coming out in September, October, somewhere in there.
right. So the two people in the movie, the Warrens, Lorraine and her husband, I can't think of the name. They're in the movie. I actually watched this recently. I actually watched
Mhm.
all 3 of them, and he's going to be interviewing the grandson. So that's very, very interesting. Now, when you said that Lorraine was a positive person for you when it came to having these types of abilities, what do you mean by that? Is that how did that touch you personally and when it comes to abilities?
Well, so I've always been gifted. I never understood exactly what it was for the longest time. Growing up in a very like very earthy but yet very Christian household, there were just things that you didn't discuss. I remember a couple of times where I did uh, make comments ahead of time without thinking, and uh, when they came to pass, people were looking at me going, "Okay, this is a little creepy." Um, yeah, so one of the things that was very troublesome to me, though, was the fact that I always assumed that if you were gifted, you were always 100% correct all the time, and I was always afraid to come forward to talk to people about it because I was not always correct. And one of the things that Lorraine Warren said was even the best psychics are maybe 60% accurate, maybe. So that eliminated for me a lot of questions about, am I going to be taken as, somebody who just guesses things luckily? Or am I going to be somebody who is accepted for the evidence based on what they see and hear?
Okay.
Now, so let's fast forward. Chris McKinnell is the grandson of the Warrens. He actually, so let's put this into perspective. You won't see this in the movie coming up, but the case that's covered in this movie, the final of the Conjuring series,
Hmm.
Chris actually worked on with them.
Wow.
So
Okay.
he, when he comes on the show, I'm going to probably ask him a little bit about that. Um, but so this goes into what you were asking about, how do I evolve an
Yeah.
idea?
I was going to bring it back there, but that's why you're also a podcast host, and you took it exactly where I was going to go. Thank you. Exactly.
So when first of all, Chris literally came on my profile, my feed, my YouTube feed, like spontaneously. His a video that he made showed up, and I was like, "Whoa!" So I clicked it. I went on. I did a little bit of research on who he was. I found out who he was, and I immediately messaged him and said, "Dude, I got to get you on my show." And he was very open to it. He actually lives south of you.
What, Costa Rica?
He lives in, like, is it Paraguay?
Oh, he's way farther south then. Okay.
He's very far south.
Yeah, he's way far south than me. Yeah.
Um, so with that, I immediately start when I find the person that I'm looking for, and I know sometimes I do some research and see who's connected to the subject I'm looking for, who's
Hmm.
the strongest connection. Um, Sometimes I get
Wow.
lucky and I go on, I'm headed to a demon house. I love you. I absolutely love you.
And
The
When Austin runs into his first dog man, I think he's going to change his filming style because it's going to, yeah, it's going to be like,
I,
okay, I got to get out here now.
as soon as he changes his pants, he'll change
Yeah,
his.
well, yes, bring a pair of
Yeah,
pants with you. Yes,
yeah. Um,
and my pants.
the the idea though is I look for one of two things. Either I look for specific people who I know, such as MK Davis, who I'll be meeting face to face soon, by the
No
way.
kidding.
He's going to be at the Wildman and Cryptid, Tennessee Wildman and Cryptid Conference in McMinnville, which I go to religiously now every year. I look for people like that, or I find a topic and I go looking for people who are either authors or they are doing a podcast or whatever specifically
Mm-hmm.
where that topic comes up in search engines very like predominant and so forth. Currently I'm looking for people attached to the Indrid Cold uh, story, if you're familiar with that.
No, I'm
Um,
not. No, I'm not.
it Indrid Cold was the case that actually started uh, in Point Pleasant just before Mothman.
Okay.
And John Keel, in his book, The Mothman Prophecies, kind of links Indrid Cole and the Mothman together almost in a sense.
Okay.
Uh, so there's a lot of things. I mean, the the Indrid Cole legacy just keeps growing, uh, and even though you don't hear as much about Indrid Cold as you do other things and other cryptids, as some people call it. I think he's not necessarily a cryptid. I think he's an extra dimensional. Um,
Wow.
but anyway, so there's a lot of research that goes into what I do.
Absolutely.
I
It's
want to
impressive. It's
I want to
impressive, man.
research. Yeah,
Yeah, like
it's a
you're
lot.
either working, sleeping, working on the podcast, or doing your research. I basically kind of know. I don't know how you, and you do take showers and eat and go to bathroom in between all those, but it's basically what we how long we know each other, like over a year, a little more than a year and a half, something like this.
We're coming up on the year.
We're coming up on a year, and we you guys don't notice, but I'll tell you, me and Daniel, we talk behind the scenes all the time about, how to improve our channel, how to make it so that the viewers, you guys, enjoy what it is that we do and share our enthusiasm by connecting the two worlds together. So he's always doing it. This is Daniel's thing, dude. He absolutely loves it, and he shows a lot of passion in what he does. And we're going to put a 2-second pause in here for you guys to stop the channel, go over to the Magical Journey podcast, and subscribe. Thank you for your subscription. What would be my show without a little levity to it? But yeah, that's what to do, man. So you also just recently had on I can't Trey, what's his last name?
Trey Hudson.
Trey Hudson, the Meadow Project, which I've also had on, and I actually sat down and watched the majority of that. That's an incredible show. That was last weekend, wasn't it, buddy?
That was last week, actually. Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that interaction with Trey.
So, first of all, let me tell you that what Trey is doing is researching what some of us are referring to as the southern equivalent of the Skinwalker Ranch.
Yes.
There
you go. You got a sub. All right, Ray. Thank
you.
You.
Thank you, Ray. I appreciate you very much for that.
Hello, Chuy. ¿Cómo estás, amigo?
I'm going to take it one step further and say something I have not said publicly yet. Um, is when I mentioned the Mothman and Point Pleasant, there are some things connected to those events that are very similar to um, things connected with both the Skinwalker Ranch and the Meadow Project. Uh, I will tell you guys this: Trey Hudson has the second book on the Meadows Project out. I have not got to it yet. I am still deep diving into the first book, but I can tell you now that if you're interested in reading about, especially if you're from the South, and you're interested in reading about real phenomena in our part of the country, uh, that's not in the LBL and not in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, then this is a case that you want to hear about and know about.
Yeah.
I encourage you strongly to get informed about that, especially if you live in Alabama.
Get his he has I think he just brought out a second book, or is he about to bring it out?
No, the book is dropped already.
The book is dropped already, and you can go over to
Yeah.
go to Magical's channel first and go watch the episode. If you want to, you can also go into my list of lives. No, it wasn't a live, it was a pre-recorded show. It wasn't a live, it was a pre-recorded show. And I also had Trey on, and you can listen to both of those. And he went through step by step of from the time he found it to present day, and it took us like an hour and 40 minutes to go through it and what is going on out there. It's an undisclosed location. He makes you sign a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA. I always want to say NDE for some reason because my brain does that, but it's incredible the encounters he's had out there. We don't have to go through those. I'll leave that for the audience to go over and check it out. Go to Magical Journey Podcast and go check that out. Here's if you guys are looking on the screen, here's where you can look, and it's on his website for Trey. It's the Meadow Project.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Meadow Project, all lowercase.com. Go over there and check him out and see what he's doing. It's pretty incredible. Now, I'm going to have somebody on. His name is Lee Hampel. I think his name is Lee Hampel, and he lives in Northern Illinois, and he has property. He's about 40 minutes away, and his property is in southern Wisconsin, and it's the Beast of Bray Road, if you guys heard of this. It's a very famous case. And his property, he had a gentleman who, he's having all these crazy stuff going on. He had a gentleman come up from Skinwalker Ranch and said that his property is even more active than Skinwalker Ranch. And that's going to be exciting. He's sending me. It's going to be one of those episodes, guys. Not about what I'm doing today. I'm promoting my show as well, but because everything gets tied to Skinwalker. Trey is having interesting stuff, and so we have the Southwest, we have the Southeast, and now we have the North that's coming up. So a lot of interesting things coming up on the channel as well. So go and check that out. Yeah, man, where do we go from here? So you started the channel about a year ago. So what was that like? How's that been?
It has been a learning process, a big learning process, and a learning curve.
Steep. I agree.
I started out, I didn't know anything really about doing a podcast. I was like, okay, I'm going to get some people on. We're going to talk about some stuff. I immediately decided if I'm going to have, I started out with pretty low key, and I still do, I'll go on one of my biggest shows so far. I found this story as it was starting to really peak on TikTok, of all places, and Maria with the time glitch. You guys, that
is one of your big episodes. That's right. Yes.
What I can actually, let me pull up the show number, and it'll make it a little easier for you guys to find.
Well, if you can pull it up on screen, we can even share it if you'd like to. That gives people a little bit of an optic. See, Daniel went through when he first started the show. It was very, just like everyone else. When you start a show, you have a concept, you try to get it going, and he has revamped everything, and is still in the process of revamping everything.
I
And
am.
it's been, I know, being a fellow, a podcaster as well, I know how much work you've been putting into it, and it's admirable. It's I'd say it's a step above mine. And even though you do night shift, I don't know how you find the time for that. And you're friggin' what, 15 years older than me? So yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's a lot. Episode 72, The Strange Case of Time Slip in Valdosta, Georgia. Yeah. So episode 72, that is when I first did that interview,
Yeah.
like she was getting blown away. Like her channel is her TikTok is crazy now.
Oh wow. So this
And
would be the episode that you would recommend to people to start out with.
it really would be, because there's an interesting twist to this. Like, it wasn't just her talking about her story, but a person who was involved in her story, who was actually had a past when this story actually happened. He was no longer, but he showed up in the story.
Ooh.
This guy's son also plays a part in confirming everything she said. So there's a very interesting twist to all of this in that, and it's worth going to check out.
Damn, Pam pulled the episode, man. Pam pulled the episode. Look at that.
Oh wow, Pam, thank you.
That's incredible, Pam.
Pam is amazing. You know
the
what,
best
Pam?
moderator in the game, man. No doubt.
Without a question,
We wouldn't be where we are without her, dude. You know that, right?
100%.
Yeah.
So, and Pam has taught me a lot about how to promote some things. And marketing is what I do. I mean, that's always been, I learned how to market early on, because that's kind of part of my gig in the real world is merchandising and marketing. So Pam has taught me a lot, though, about how to distribute things online. So with that, like literally all the platforms, pretty much any platform I can find that I've got a profile on. I do quote cards almost on the daily. If I'm not doing a quote card, I'm doing clips from the show. Those are AI generated, but they are actual clips from the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the artwork that I for my show now is AI generated. I'm actually working with 2 different programs right now. I'm about to switch completely over to ChatGPT, though, for most things.
It's great. I use it as well. I use the free version. You get like, I think 2 or 3 pictures a day, but that's all I need. You do it every single day. I do more like, when I have time, I'll sit down for 8 hours and I'll just and then parse it out and program it into time. And okay, I got to do this, and this. And it gets to be a lot. It gets to be a lot. People don't realize the amount of time and work and effort. I mean, first of all, you have to you have to find out what your gig is, what your groove is, what it is that you enjoy, and then you have to find the people who would actually come on the show, and then you cross your fingers and hope that they actually do come on the show, which we've had many times, and had to help each other and jump on episodes. Yes. Yeah, that's why lives always make me a little bit anxious. That's why I don't like them as much. I do enjoy the conversations, but it's always like, is the guest really going to come? So this week I felt super relaxed. I was like, I get to chill and lay in the cut. Have myself a beer on the 4th of July. My buddy Daniel's coming on, but it can be stressful, can't it, buddy?
It can be very stressful. And, just to kind of help out things a little bit,
yeah.
if you like podcasting and you like to watch podcasters, leave us a comment down below to let us know, especially about this show, what it is you appreciate about
Oh, wow. Thank you, buddy.
our host. It's always a good thing to leave those comments, guys. So let me tell you, once once I find the person that I want to interview, it's not always big names. Sometimes it's
No.
somebody with an experience. If it's an experiencer and they have a story that's unusual or I feel is worth the time to put forth and they
Or
want.
sometimes, yeah, but sometimes some people just need to our help, actually. You know, like Darren, who's not here again. Sorry, buddy. Darren Franks, he was just like, I got contact through Daryl Denton. He needs to talk to somebody, and now he's opening up, and you know what I mean. Because sometimes these things are so dramatic for people that they don't even know where to turn to, and then they look for people like Jim, yourself, or myself, and sometimes like we give them the platform and the ability to come on because it's not always about because a lot of people go name chasing. You can do that because there's some of the reason their names are the way they are is because their story is so incredible that through time that the name happens. But some people just want to come on and talk to somebody who will listen to them, and that is your strong suit. I mean, you know what I mean? Because the Magical Journey is just the moniker, the marquee, if you will, this the sign out front of the theater. But when you go inside, you are the product, you are the medium in which, well, kind of also that way too, and which people I'm a bit of a large, but people pass through to get their story out. And that is as a person, like there's times where you have to step back and look at your own product and be completely honest with yourself. I think a lot of people don't want to do that. Step back and look at yourself through a third person perspective and realize what it is that you do. And when I do that, and you being my friend and fellow podcaster, and step back and watch your show, that's what it is that you do. You're an incredible listener, and it's always from the heart that people they love what you do because of the way you go about it. Very mild mannered. You have a very slow way of doing. You have a little southern drawl to you. It's cool, man. I really enjoy your show, dude. I really do.
So let's talk for a minute about what makes a story worthy to me.
Absolutely.
Okay. So there's two different things going on here. First of all, there are the names. Okay. There are names that are out there that if they are doing something or they have something to say that may be valuable to the general public, or that I feel is valuable to an up and coming researcher, whatever. I go through and I check all the boxes. If they make the cut, then I ask them on. Okay. But they have to go through me. I don't care how big their name is. They have to go through me to get there. Now, it's different though when you're an experiencer. Here's what I look for in experiencers. First of all, they need to have an openness or willingness to become open about their experience. If they have a willingness to become open, they don't have to necessarily have a clue how to start. They don't even have to have an idea of where to begin in their story. All they need to do is have a willingness to share their experience. Okay. Secondly, they need to be open to the idea of receiving support, receiving that affirmation that they're okay. I'm going to listen to their story. We're going to talk about it. We're going to explore it. There are times when I will go as far as like reaching out to them later, going, "Hey, dude, how are you doing? Anything else I can do for you? Is there something that we can do to make your experience better. You know, if it's like, hey, I want to go on some more shows and talk about this, I want to get my story out there for people
Mm-hmm.
because I want like I have one who was like, I want people to know what this is,
Wow.
what they're up against.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and uh, you know, then you do it. You know, I get in touch with you. I get in touch with other
Same thing I
podcasts.
do. It's like someone's like, I don't know who to talk to about these things. If you've been very nice. I've really enjoyed the channel. I was like, okay. And then,
Mhm.
everyone has their thing. There's certain podcasters that are very good at certain, like someone's really timid. Like someone's really timid, but they want to say it. I will always send them to you. You know what I mean? Like they're just kind of like nervous about it and they want someone to feel comfortable with and talk to, and someone who will listen to. Hey, what's up, my vlog? Dude, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a while on here. What's up, buddy? I will always send them to you. I do the exact same thing, dude. I understand it. I understand it. Yes.
And speaking of amazing, where are they at? I just saw them a minute ago. James R. Hood is in the
James R.
house
Hood
too.
is James R. Hood.
Dude,
Here he
you know
is.
what? Like literally,
An encyclopedia.
he is. You know what? Inspiration to me. He is my mind. He is my mind candy. Okay, my
Oh yeah,
mind
dude.
candy.
He loves to just throw in like little light grenades. Like I guess that's the way it's put it. Like
Yes.
you'll be sitting there in the doldrums and you're having a humdrum day. Go over to my Facebook, go over to Magical Journeys Facebook about and go and check out the our little groups there, man. And Tim is Tim as well. But James R. Hood is always on there. Hey Tom, have you seen this? He'll send me messages. Hey Tom, have you seen that? And yeah, he's incredible, man. I agree. Thank you,
100%.
thank you, buddy.
100%.
Thank you, James.
So there's some other things that I kind of like, I want to see some proof, some manifestation of whether I'm believing somebody or not. Okay. Now, when I say proof and I say manifestation, these are the things I look for. And is the body language reading that this is something that happened? Is the
That's hard
story
sometimes,
lining?
though. Yeah, that can be
So
hard.
it can be, but sooner or later, if you talk to them long enough, you're gonna know. You're gonna know sooner or later because nobody holds that demeanor for forever.
Well,
They're,
if what I always like, we talk about these things in the background, but what I try to what I reach some comfort in is that if the people are stepping forward to tell me, I will give them the platform. That's just the way it is. Now, if these people are being, untrue and false or lying about it, it'll come out in the wash. It's like, everything comes out in the end. Um, to quote Rommel, you know what I mean? Like all the truth in the end will come out. So if your story over time, if you're doing this for 6 months to a year and you're going on different podcasts, eventually what's going to happen is that you're going to mess up and you're going to skip things or say in the wrong location or it's like really not little things. People can always be nervous and things happen. I thought it was a Saturday, but it was a Sunday. Things like that happen all the time. But what I'm trying to say is that if it's a big thing, people are going to start catching on to you and really they're going to call you out. So, but like I try to let people say what it is that they want to say. It's not for me to decide whether or not I think they're being 100% truthful or not. That's something I withhold for myself. But if they say it, I will take that at face value, and I want them to have the ability to come on and do so. You guys can contact me. You got a story, whatever, contact me at the iJupiterPodcast@gmail.com. Or what's your email, buddy?
My email is daniel@magicaljourneypodcast.com.
So let's go into this too. Your show is right up after mine. Your show is on in about an hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so who you got coming on today, buddy?
Tonight I have Tommy from
Tommy
Let's Get
Cullum.
Freaky. Yes,
Tommy Cullum. Oh, the Let's Get Freaky podcast.
Look, talk about Tommy is another guy who like he's my go-to for podcasters uh, when I want not only some information, but I want a moment
Positivity.
of sanity.
Positivity.
Yeah,
It's fantastic.
he really is. He's very, and you know, and he's got that wonderful British humor. And by the way,
Yes.
I'm going to say this too, guys. There is a reason why I have him on the 4th of July. Okay.
Ah. I'm not going to guess. I'll let you. I'll let you explain.
So for years, it's kind of been an ongoing. Ever since I've been on Facebook, it's been an ongoing uh, kind of joke with me in a way, um, but yet not, because my original ancestor came over here as an indentured servant in around 1630, 1650, somewhere in there. He was one of the 10 families who founded Block Island, Rhode Island. He was also one of the people who was part of the event that caused the Prince Philip War. One of those who did not survive the event that caused the Prince Philip War. He did have children before his passing. Those children and their bloodlines helped to form a lot of things in this country. One of those members of our bloodline
Thank you.
was an active member of the early LDS. Was actually he went on mission with Joseph Smith's son or brother, his Joseph Smith's brother. I always forget about that. There's a lot of stuff like the last name Cohoon, you guys know as Calhoun, some of the spellings. Go and check out that connection with Andrew Jackson. So the bloodline runs deep, and I say that to say this. It's kind of an ongoing tradition for me every year to leave a meme up that says Happy Treason Day on the 4th of July.
I hope you guys like tea.
So this year I took it.
What about a hill? What about a hill with some bunkers on it? Anybody?
This year I decided I would take it a step farther and invite one of the coolest guys from the UK I know onto my show, and just talk it up, have a blast. It doesn't hurt too that he's one of the few people I know who's not celebrating the holiday today. We've got a party out in my backyard right now, whatever. This is more important to me. With all that said, though, at the end of the day, one of the reasons why I look for integrity with people in my show is because you've got some people who will not come forward because their fear of being mocked and ridiculed.
Yeah.
I like to bridge that a little bit and say, you know what? I try to vet as many people on my show as possible to keep it real for the people who, when they do come to me and they go, I really want to talk about this, but I'm afraid to because I think people are going to probably think I'm a nutcase. And I want to be able to tell them, you know what, on my platform, at least we have authentic stories. I vet my folks, and this is my reputation as somebody who's not going to let, just all things come on, because there's sometimes, come on, if you were a clown right off the bat, and you're obviously like, you're trying to tell me something that's so off left field, and you're not even being like, you're not even trying to cover the fact that you're BSing me. you're not going to make it on there. Okay, you're just not. Like, give me something that I feel like is going to give dignity and respect to those who don't have a voice yet. The future guests that are going to come on who want to make sure that whenever they come onto the show,
Mm-hmm.
that it's a show that is that validates their claim.
Yeah, it can be a tricky proposition.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, man, it's a tricky proposition. I mean, I don't know, how your filtration goes. The only thing I try to do is whoever comes on the show, I try to meet them on a human level.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. If I meet you on a human level, and I can see, because there's certain people who are very, they're very factual, and you just let them do their thing. There's people who are like, when you come on, or certain other people like, Austin, or people as Sen and those and alike. Like, it's just kind of a playful banter mixed in with just true facts, experiences, what they're doing. And then there's people who are timid that come on, and you have to kind of walk them through, or there's people who've never been on a podcast before, and you have to walk them through. And I enjoy each and every one of those, but I give every single one of them a platform to talk, and it's not for me to decide that. For me, I'm here. I haven't had any really bad guests on yet. I've had a couple where I don't know, I don't know. But there's some that they say I got, and then you come on and you can see it, like there's been people where you can see it. Like, I had one of my episodes, you can go back and look, is the giant owl attack.
Oh,
Uh,
dude.
that is even though it's breaking up because of his Wi-Fi or whatever he was, because you mentioned that too, that you were like, this is one of my favorite episodes. That his name was James too, I think. Yeah, his
Mm-hmm.
name was James too. I can't think of his last name at the moment. It was you can tell how dramatic it was, and I think he's seen me on. That was a long time ago. I was on Josh Turner's show a long, long time ago, and he's seen me on there. And I talked about giant birds and that some kind of weird connection. He reached out to me, and that was one of those episodes where you're just like, I don't know what this is, man. It's so just a quick run now. It's like something like what was it? What was it, like a 10-foot owl with like a 30-foot
Yeah.
wingspan or something like that?
Yeah.
Attacked him and his friend
Mm-hmm.
in northern Indiana.
Yeah.
And it sounds too crazy. It sounds outside of Hollywood. It sounds just like National Enquirer, to go back, a 30-year-old reference there. It's what it sounds like, really. But then you listen to the gentleman talk, and you're just like, no, this happened to this guy. This really happened, and you have to feel for them, and like kind of be like, hey, dude, I'm here and I'm listening. And I'm sure that you enjoy that, don't you? Like, you enjoy helping people with like that kind of dramatic situation, don't you, buddy?
100%. And I also have some background in those sorts of things too.
There it
That
is.
I'm not
James
going to.
James Faca. That was his name. Thank you, James Faca.
Yeah.
He was on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, so let me let me say this too, because I think it's very important uh, for people to understand when we talk about like the learning curve and so forth. Like, you got to understand, like, there are when it comes to chat gbt and programs like that we use, tools that we use, uh, you know, it these things get very complex. There are volumes of books on prompts alone for podcasters to use for ChatGPT, um, Canva. I've got like as much research to do with this stuff as I do with the paranormal. And to be honest with you, those types of books used to bore the crap out of me. But now, of course, it's part of my daily grind because
Right. Right.
I need those. Um, I need those programs, those tools. Uh, and, and unfortunately, for podcasters, you can also become very expensive. Okay, like if you use the paid version, which I do on a lot of things, it becomes a burden, a financial burden, but it also helps to up the game in the long run. So currently, I'm revamping, because here's what happened when I started the podcast. I started from an old platform. I was doing something completely different, but I would decide to go in and keep the accounts and go from there. So I'm literally
Thank you, Pam.
reworking all of this into the current evolution of what I'm doing. So there's a massive amount of change going on right now, but this change is to promote quality, um, as far as you're going to see one of the most obvious changes you're going to see is easier to read thumbnails on your phone, because most of my subscribers and most of my viewers use their phone. Right now, the way I've been doing it, it can't really read those things on the phone. There are some thumbnails that have come down recently that you'll notice, the artwork and so forth is more phone friendly.
Yeah.
Uh,
If it's too busy, I learned that too. Like if it's too busy and too many things are going on, you have to make sure that the title stands out.
mhm,
And of course, the name of the show, however it is that you put your thing up there, when you guys, if you guys are considered being podcasters, basically we're just giving advice for future podcasters and people who are doing it. Not that we know a whole lot. Let's be honest with you, we're still just beginning in this. But basically, it's like you have to make it where people want to click on it.
mhm.
Don't trick them, because then they're going to not like come back. Don't buy your subscriptions. That's silly, because you can buy them. You can have whatever 5,000 subscribers, but you're only getting 200 hours a week because no one's actually watching it. You want people to actually watch your show, so don't buy them. Go from the ground up. Get yourself in a good group of people, a good
Mhm.
friends. Like we have our little group that we have our own Facebook and the chat, our private chat that we have amongst each other. And if you really want to do this, if you want to reach out to me and ask me questions, or Daniel, if you really want to try this, any of you people on the side. And thanks again, guys. We're currently almost an hour into the show, and we have 13 people on the 4th of July watching us right now. Do you know how incredible that is? It's the 4th of
Very.
July. It's in the evening. People are drinking, barbecuing, and spending time with their family, celebrating the independence of our country from that evil English empire. And yeah, we're here for you. We appreciate all that, guys. It's incredible, man. Okay, man. So today you're gonna have on Tommy Cullum
Mhm.
from the Let's Get Freaky podcast. Tell me a little bit. Go ahead and tell me all your links real quick where people can find you. They're down in the down below in the links too. I'm pretty sure I put them in there. Lives are always a little tricky for me, but I put them in there. And tell us a little bit more, like when your show comes out and what they can look forward to.
Okay, so first of all, let's talk about show times and show days. A Magical Journey podcast, 7:15 p.m. Central Time every Friday. This is the current schedule. Uh, magicaljourneypodcast.com, all things Magical Journey. I just put in links today for magical merch. I have it back up. There's all new products on there, and some of the classics are still on there too. For
That's
those
right.
of
I
you
seen
who
that.
like, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So take advantage of that, please. Um, the prices are still very affordable. I'm still getting a cut on it because, quite frankly, I need to be able to pay the bills for this. Um, there's also Koi-Fi. All the things are on Magical Journey dot podcast.com will get you to where you need to go to help support, to find audio and video of each each episode. We're on episode number 84, 85, I think, right now, somewhere in there. Um, do not forget, also, if you there's a page I have not entered yet, not published, that's going to be resources of um, books from authors and so forth that I've interviewed and will be interviewing, websites, that kind of thing. I'm going to go to the old format of outside links to people and places that we've talked about on the show before. That will be one of the pages coming up soon. I still need to get some vital information on there. So that's really it. That's the big thing is, the YouTube channel and the website has all things, including my Facebook group.
All right. Yeah, so next week I'm going to be having on Moises Reynoso. He is a gentleman from right here in Mexico. He doesn't live in this city anymore. I met him 1.5 years ago 2 years ago when I met my girlfriend, and he now lives in another part of Mexico, but he is born and raised in this area on the northern tip of the Yucatan Peninsula and around the city called Merida, depending on how your pronunciation is. And we're going to get into some Mayan black magic, Alucius, and some really crazy stuff. Tomorrow, I got to write the gentleman today. He's a guy I work with. This is going to be cool, guys. Wish me luck on this. We're going to go out. We've been trying to do this for a while. The gentleman has a drone, and we're going to go out to some ruins, and we're going to go out to a ruin of a church in the middle of the rainforest here. I'm going to be riding on the back of a motorcycle with a helmet, which I have never done in my life. And I've known the gentleman for a year and a half, as long as I've known you. And he's been trying, kind of off and on, has been pressuring me. And we're going to go out tomorrow and we're going to do some filming. And we're going to show you some of this incredible, hopefully, if everything works out, don't pressure me on it. And then we're going to I'm going to put some things together and cut a video and put that out as well. It's going to be really interesting. Next week, like I said, we're going to have on Moises Reynoso. And upcoming episodes, I had on Daryl Denton today is an episode about a dog man who grabbed a woman. I have on a magical black cube, a guy who ran across an 8-foot by 8-foot black cube in the middle of the forest. So I got a lot of crazy episodes coming up. And also a gentleman who was friends with Bob Gimlin, who is still friends with Bob Gimlin, who actually witnessed birth to twin Sasquatch. You can go over and get that episode right now. If you want to become a member. I think it's $5 a month. Isn't that right, Pam? $5 a month, something like that. You can go over and get early episodes and check that one out. That one is wild. And he also breaks down to Patterson Gimlin what happened. Why did Patty actually look back when the video was being taken? Because Bob Gimlin pulled out his pistol. I don't think he knew that. It heard it, seen it, felt it, looked back, noticed he wasn't a threat, and kept walking. So a lot of good stuff coming up on the channel, man. I appreciate you, Daniel, so much for coming on today, dude. Like always, it's a pleasure to see you. It's good to see you in good health. It's good to see you happy. And man, much luck to you in the future. Hopefully soon, guys. Please do me a favor. Go over and subscribe to his channel. The Magical Journey Podcast. Type it in on your YouTube search engine, and you'll go right to his channel. Subscribe to the channel. Check it out. And support Daniel any way you can. And one more time, dude, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me on.
All right, guys. We are the Eye. We are aware. Love you all and have a wonderful weekend, dude.